Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh. That's me. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How's everybody doing? We are back from our wonderful wedding and honeymoon.
Yes.
How awesome.
Oh,
you're getting the notifications now?
An ad. Google Chrome.
Ads.
There we go.
Gotta pay for the honeymoon.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing? Doing good? Excellent. I've got the laptop here.
Hi, Bailey.
Jen's got the tablet so we can interact with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's been a while. Hi, Bailey. How's it going? I know it's been a while. I just wanted to kind of give everybody an update on where we're at with the vlogs, because this is the most cruise vlogs we've done at once. So it's
going to take a while for us to edit it.
Yeah, because I want to get some of them out. I don't want to have you guys wait. Once we go and we start dropping, I want to just start dropping them.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait. Yeah, I know it's been a while. I miss you guys too. Miss all the audience members because, yeah, we've just been busy. I mean, you had the wedding, the days leading up to the wedding.
So, like, rehearsal, my family was in town, your family started coming in town.
Last preparations.
Uh-huh.
And then we had the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the wedding, we had immediately flew out.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about, like, like a little bit later on? We're still trying, people are still coming in, but I figure we'll talk about kind of like a process of what we did leading up to, because there's some things we didn't cover in the vlog, like getting there.
Oh yeah,
like
we
that
skipped
sort of
all
thing.
that. I don't know how people vlog the travel day, but we also like had a wedding before it, so like we were like so tired. So
yeah, we left. So our wedding was actually at Brevard Zoo, which is on the east coast of Florida, like 5 minutes from the beach.
Yeah.
And we might share some pictures. What I'm thinking we might do is we might like share some of the pictures once the pictures come in.
Yeah, we got some of them.
Yeah, once they all come in, we'll probably do like a recap video of, you know, our thoughts on the wedding, that sort of thing. And then we were there till 11 o'clock. It was a late night.
Yeah, we left at like 11, and it's like an hour and a half drive back home.
And then we came back to Orlando, and then we had to be at the airport the next day at like 4 a.m. So it was a boom, boom, boom. And of course, once you're on the plane going to such a cool destination, you were like, it's hard to sleep. It really was. I know you did, but it was hard for me. I was too excited, so.
I was exhausted.
Hi, Phil. How's it going? Yeah, I know it's been waiting a while for this. Yeah, sorry. Coming back, we had several days where we just needed to, like,
I'm
recoup.
Still not right with the time.
I know.
Like, I'm really tired right now.
So it is 8:30 p.m. East Coast time, and mentally on our body clock, it feels like 2:30.
But I'm tired at the same time.
Yeah,
so
I think you're going through some weird, like, going to sleep at weird times and stuff like that. But yeah, it's taken us a few days. When we got back, we actually had a red-eye flight back from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Where we spent 10.5 hours in the air.
I don't want to fly ever again.
We're good. Let's just get home. And usually the day after a trip, I'll come back and go straight to editing. This one, nope. No. I was like, let me just get some sleep. So thank you guys for being understanding that we need to get back to a normal sleep schedule.
Normal. I don't know how people do the travel days. Like,
6-hour time difference is no joke. Serious jet lag.
Yeah. Thanks, Valerie. And Bailey, yes, super quick turnaround.
Yep.
We went wedding straight to honeymoon. I wish we had an extra day at home.
Yeah, I know. It just, we had to get there. I wanted to get to Vancouver at least 36 hours before the cruise ship left. Because if something happened with the way the airlines have been, I didn't want to take a chance on it.
Yeah.
You know? So I wanted to get there plenty of time so that we could settle in, and then if we could make a day out of Vancouver, that would be great, because that's a cool city that I didn't want to overlook.
Yeah, and our flights weren't, like, on the way there, they were delayed, but only by, like, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. On the way back, everything was on time.
Yeah, so. Everything was on time.
Yeah.
And then Henry David says, hello, newlywed lovebirds.
I don't even have my ring on right now.
But I have mine. Oh.
I'm at home. I'm cozy.
This is actually my like throw around band. Like it's just a medical grade like silicone band. Do I have the actual?
It's in my bag somewhere.
Okay. Well, the one I have is actually really cool. It's
Do you want me to get it?
Yeah. Let's show them. The one I have is actually really cool, but I got to be careful with it because it's not something that I would want to get damaged. Yeah, we're still doing laundry from our our trip.
Here you go.
There it is. Let me pull it out real quick. Here it is. So it is actually a meteorite band, which is pretty cool. Let me put it on so you guys can see it. It's a meteorite band, which is made from meteorite. Gibeon meteorite. Let's see. So maybe you can see it. I don't know. I don't have a screen to look at. So hopefully you guys can see it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is a little delayed.
It's pretty neat. Meteorite. So it's made from space junk. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I just got to be careful with it because if I get it wet, it could be prone to rust. So that's why they sent me this one as a backup. But I'll wear this one tonight. So yeah, it's been fun. BG says, "Hey, welcome back. We're back." Yes, we're back. We're slowly overcoming the jet lag. Slowly overcoming it.
I had a friend who was just in Europe, and she said it took her a full week to get back to normal. So we'll see.
My eating schedule's still not quite. I woke up at 3 a.m. last night Eastern time and said I'm hungry, and came downstairs and ate some food, and then went back to bed. So it's not even a midnight snack at that point. It's a 3 a.m. snack.
So it was what?
Would have been 9 p.m.
Oh.
Which would have been dinner time. So
yeah.
My body was like, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Bailey says, you guys honestly did a lot of people's dream vacation. Looked incredible. Yeah, I hope you guys were able to, if you were following us on Twitter, or I'm sorry, X, formerly known as Twitter now, I actually paid for the internet package on day like 4 or 5. And I was like, let me try this internet package because that was the big addition at the dry dock. The Disney Wonder was in dry dock 2 weeks before we got there. And everyone was talking about how fast the internet was. Apparently that was the last ship to get the upgrade. So I was like, let me try it. Paid for it. It is more expensive now than it was before, but it was super quick. I was like, all right, cool. So I can work with this. So I was like, let me play around and do some tweets. So hopefully if you guys were able to go along and read along, you were able to kind of, I know it was a 6-hour time difference, but you were able to kind of keep up with some of the adventures and kind of have an idea of what some of the vlogs might be covering. So, yeah.
Phil, yes, red-eye flights are brutal. I never want to fly again.
Yep. Yeah, and Bailey says, good idea going early, especially with traveling internationally. Yeah. You were on a Facebook group for our cruise, and you were blown away at how many people were still coming in the morning of the cruise. Oh, yeah.
I was like, y'all are crazy.
We're sipping our Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
Doing our live stream from the dock, and you were like, there's people still coming in. Like
yeah.
It's nuts. I can't do that. That's too risky.
Yeah, it's your birthday tomorrow.
It is. No plans.
Work.
Because now work's like, well, you're well rested, so we're gonna work you to death. So I am working tomorrow, and I'm okay with that. I've had, like, Bailey said, I've had a trip of a lifetime not too long ago. So I'm well okay with, missing out, on some birthday stuff. But honestly, like, we treated ourselves on
I
this
was
trip,
like, I got him some stuff. I was like, happy birthday.
Yeah, we went to Aulani on our last, no spoilers, but we went to Aulani on our last bit of the trip, and she bought me some stuff from Aulani. So there you go. So, birthday gift. Yeah, so glad you guys were all able to come out tonight. I know it was kind of an impromptu thing, but I was like, we need to
tell them we're still alive.
And that, we're still working on the vlogs. They're still in process. Mm-hmm. You actually got the first day done.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah.
But we want to get a few vlogs in before we start dropping some of those.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about our trip out there? Just kind of like a quick synopsis so that people...
So we flew Delta, and I've never flown Delta before, and I love Delta now.
They were good.
I watched a bunch of... What did I watch on the way there?
Watched a bunch of movies.
Yeah, we watched... I watched Harry Potter.
Yep.
What else is new?
Yep, you watched Harry Potter. I watched Dune. Never seen Dune.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, you watched Harry Potter.
But it was cool to watch movies and stuff. That made the flight a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Because it is a long flight.
We went from Orlando to Seattle.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because a lot of people, when I posted the picture of Mount Rainier, everyone was like, why are you going on your honeymoon to Seattle? I was like, wait, there's more. It's not just Seattle. And then we switched planes in Seattle.
Yeah.
Went on a smaller plane.
Yep.
And just shot up to Vancouver.
Yep.
It was like a 30-minute flight. Not too long.
We didn't do too much when we got there because we were just tired.
Yeah.
But
get settled in.
We got to see like are they mountains or are they hills?
Where? In Vancouver?
Vancouver.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw the mountains north of the city. We took the train.
We did take the train.
We didn't want to do an Uber. We didn't want to do a taxi from the airport. We wanted to utilize the train. And what did I say? Oh, my phone's being used.
Yeah.
I might be able to pull it up here. But there was a dollar amount. Because Canadian dollars...
It was like $3, wasn't it?
Yeah, Canadian dollars are a little bit different than American dollars. Let me see if I can find it.
I like the train. That was nice. It was easy.
It was.
Just go.
We just went from
straight.
The airport and went all the way.
Most of it was underground, though. I wish you could see more of the city.
Here it is.
Yeah, Bailey. Brandon tried to update on X a lot, but, it's hard when you're on a cruise.
Yeah. Okay, let me see if I could find our tweets. Or X's. What are they called now?
Oh, I don't know. I don't Twitter.
Our X's.
I don't Twitter.
Here it is. Well, let me find out the exact dollar amount.
Oh, did you put it on there?
Yeah, I put the exact dollar amount of what it costs to get from the... So for if people wanted to look at, like, when they do Alaska cruises, they can get an idea of, like, how much it would cost just to do that. Bring your luggage on, just go straight there. Dang, I did a lot.
Yeah.
Let me see.
You guys get so much more money up here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we found out is obviously we used a certain credit card that allowed us to not incur international fees. And we found that it was definitely, you were able to get a lot more. The American dollar got a lot more in Canada.
She said it's like $1 US is 1.38 Canada.
Yes, so Canadian dollars, the Vancouver SkyTrain was $32.92. But in US, it came out to be $24 for 2-day passes on the SkyTrain, which allowed us to go, if we wanted to, we could have gone to other locations, but at that point, we just wanted to get straight there. And it was roughly a 30-minute trip, according to the thing that I posted.
Yeah.
So
a lot of it was underground. I wish it was above so you could see the city.
Then we stayed at the Pan Pacific.
Yeah, Pan Pacific. That was kind of nice, but also kind of old.
Yeah, I thought for the money that they charge, because it was expensive. Sorry, I'm getting a cough drop. There we go.
We're getting used to the Florida allergies again.
Ugh. The Pan Pacific, for the amount that they charged, I felt it was a little old.
Yeah.
A little old. Because Aulani was almost the same price.
Yeah.
And this is factoring in the difference in currency.
Yeah.
And Aulani was the same price, and I thought Aulani was nicer, personally. But I guess you're paying for convenience.
It being right there, yeah.
Yeah, you're paying for convenience. Then we went to Tim Hortons. What did you think of Tim Hortons?
I like Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
Their pumpkin chai is so much better than Starbucks.
It was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. Some people were like, Tim Hortons, eh. But I get it. Like, if
you get it all the time.
You get it all the time.
Yeah.
But I heard many good things about it, so I had to check it out. Are there any comments?
No.
No? Okay, good. So we'll continue on. So yeah, then we went to the totem poles. Saw the totem poles. That was cool. Never saw real totem poles before. So
saw the Olympic torch.
Yep, saw that as well. And then we went to the aquarium, and unfortunately, I didn't realize this until after the fact, our microphones died right when we got to the aquarium.
So all that footage is just mute.
Yeah, so I think what we'll do is we'll do some voiceover and talk about it so that it's not a wasted, because it was actually a really nice aquarium. But it happened to be on October 2nd, which was, I think it was October 2nd. Was it October 2nd?
Yeah, it was October 2nd. It was a national holiday in Canada.
Didn't know that.
And it was crazy.
So everyone was there. at the aquarium, so it was very busy. But we did find a sloth.
Yes, we
We
did.
saw a sloth there. He was in the very, very top. So
Exciting.
we had a sloth at the wedding, and then we had a sloth literally the next day or 2 days later at Vancouver. And then you found your first maple leaf.
Bailey says Vancouver has so much culture. I'm glad
Yeah.
you got to spend some time exploring.
Yeah,
I want to
very
spend
cool.
some more time there.
There was a lot of things that I wish we had got a chance to do.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't have the time because we just got there an extra day early.
Yeah.
You got your first maple leaf?
I did. I wanted to take it with me, but
They wouldn't let you, no.
So I had a photo shoot with it.
Yep. And then that night we went to what was it? It was like let me see if I could find it. It was a really cool place. We didn't vlog it, did we?
No.
Yeah. I think we were too tired at that point. But let me see if I could find the name of
the
it.
pizza place or the
No,
other place?
The other place. The first place when we got there. It was like a pub.
It was.
Let me see if I could find it.
It was cool.
Let me find the name of it. Yeah, we did not cover that, but it was very good.
You could see the port right from there.
Yes, I think I'm finding it right here. Steamworks.
Yeah.
Steamworks is what it was. So we went to Steamworks. Steamworks had some really good pub food.
Yeah.
And then you could see we had a window that overlooked the port. And then after Steamworks, we went back to the hotel, which was walking distance. Everything was walking distance.
Yeah.
And or no, Steamworks was the first night we were there.
Yes, Steamworks. And
Yes,
then the
Steamworks
pizza place was the second.
Correct.
night.
So Steamworks was the first night we were there. Then we woke up really early to see the Disney Wonder come into No, now I'm getting all mixed up. Steamworks was the first night when we got there. Then we went back to the hotel, fell asleep.
Yeah.
Then the next day we went to the aquarium, the totem poles, and then the pizza place.
Yes.
Which I think I covered.
Captain.
I can't remember.
Something Captain.
Yeah, and very good place to eat. Pizza was what's the word I'm looking for?
Mom and pop.
Yeah.
Hole in the wall.
Kind of, yeah. You had to walk to it. And then we went to bed that night. And actually, no, we went to the Costco.
So
we walked to the Costco.
We went to Costco because I needed new sneakers, but they didn't have any
in your size,
like anything, like any sneakers at all, really. And that was just chaos. I've never seen a Costco like it with was it a parking garage on top?
No, it was like a condominium.
Oh,
like condos.
Yeah. So never seen anything like it. It was crazy, so busy.
And it was an Iron Maiden concert.
Yeah.
right next door. So it was a wild trip. We were like, whoa, this is weird. And then we decided to go back to the hotel and went to bed. Woke up really early to watch the Wonder come in. And it was cool watching the Wonder come in. It was just a party ship, just a fun ship coming into port.
Bailey says, I love going to Costco and new places I visit. Yeah, we went to a few in Hawaii, too.
We went to Vancouver. The one in Honolulu.
The one in Maui.
The one in Maui. And the store near Ko'olina, which was over near Aulani.
And I did get new sneakers and promptly messed them up. So, you know.
Yeah, on one of the islands.
Ash.
It really messed up your shoes. Anyway, then we got on the ship. We had 5 glorious days at sea.
Yeah.
And it was kind of strange. After the 5th day, you were like, all right, we want land now.
Yeah.
Like, it was a lot of days at sea consecutively.
Yeah.
The water was very rough the first 2 nights.
But somehow, I did not get seasick this trip at all.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
How you get seasick in the Caribbean, but this was the worst.
Maybe mentally I was like, well, I'm at sea for 5 days. I can't get sick.
Maybe. But I will say that the first 2 days at sea were the choppiest ocean currents.
We were like...
Oh, my goodness. Like, nothing in the Caribbean came anywhere close to that.
Yeah.
And we had heard that leaving Seattle, Vancouver, all along the West Coast can be very choppy at certain times. So it kind of makes you wonder what Alaska cruises are like. Are they... It's
probably rough, yeah.
I don't know. But, we did that. And then we had Palo brunch. We had Palo dinner. Anything else? Oh, they surprised us with Encanto.
Yes, they had Encanto and they had Imagineers on the ship.
Yeah. So to kind of put in perspective, I think they were preparing for the new sailings that are happening right now in south of the equator, Sydney and New Zealand. There were so many Imagineers on board, and you can tell they were Imagineers because they were in every new big exciting thing,
Yeah.
and they were huddled up talking and like working on their laptops,
Yeah.
and they were in every big like new thing that they were trying out. Encanto Celebration, which I thought was only on the Magic, happened to be on this one. We asked the crew member, "Is this new?" And she said it was the first time they did it on the Wonder.
Yeah.
And then it was such a hit, they decided to do it again on our port day at Honolulu. So they did what was it? Night sky gazing?
Stargazing.
Stargazing, yes.
Night gazing.
Yes, stargazing was cool. Never did that before.
It was cold too, though.
Mm-hmm. He had a super powerful laser pointer. I was able to point to all the different constellations in the sky.
And he talked about stars, and I saw 2 shooting stars.
Yeah, there's 2.
0.
Well, that's because I was filming. And I was trying to get video in a very dark environment.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was super fun. And then, what else did we do?
They had the cultural people on the ship. So they had, I forget all their names, but they were awesome. They taught us the hula. Mm-hmm. They taught us ukulele.
The ukulele.
Which I remembered why I hate trying to play an instrument because I suck at it and I get so frustrated. I tried to play guitar for a while.
It's all in good fun.
And then they did storytelling, which was really cool.
Yeah, so they had very good representation of Hawaiian culture. And what was really cool is the first 2 days, it was very cold. So there wasn't too much Hawaiian stuff. But as each day came closer and closer to Hawaii,
they did more and more.
There was more and more Hawaiian stuff appearing. And then eventually when you got to Hawaii, there was a bunch of Hawaiian stuff going on. Lilo and Stitch. Stitch was out and about. All that fun jazz. And they had all sorts of cool backdrops of Hawaii, like for the photos. It was just fun all around. And very different cruise than we've ever done.
They had the Nat Geo guy.
That's right.
Chanel.
Chanel, yep. Mm-hmm. Chanel was the National Geographic explorer, and he was there as the naturalist on the cruise. So that was really
He has a picture of him swimming with a whale shark, and I'm like, wow.
On this cruise?
Yeah, it was on the first PowerPoint slide with his family.
Oh, but not from the cruise.
No.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say. We saw dolphins while at sea. Was it spinner dolphins?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, there was actual dolphins, and like just out, they're just jumping.
A lot of them, too, and they were like following the ship. We saw them like twice.
Yeah, so that was cool. No whales, though. No whales. It was super fun.
See a whale shark.
And that, hi, Luke. How's it going? Hope your families are doing well. Yes, we're doing great. Hope you are doing well as well.
I would love to do the Sydney to Hawaii transatlantic cruise, but it's like 15 nights. Yeah.
It's a lot.
We realized we're good with 7. 10 is a lot.
10 is a lot.
10 is a lot.
Well, I also think the spacing of it, having 5 sea days and 5 port days.
Like there should have been a sea day in one of those.
I think it would have made it easier.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have made it easier and a little bit, like those first 5 days wear you out, and then it's like sea day or port day. So.
But last, we're all board times super late at the ports. At some ports, it was super late.
Yes.
There was 2 like 4:45 days, and then 1 10 p.m. day and 1 11 p.m. day.
Yeah, Maui we were there till 11, which was weird going to bed and you're still at port. And then Honolulu was till 10.
Yeah.
Which we ended up leaving late that night. Like super, super late. We were there till 10. All aboard was 10. And we didn't leave until like 11:30. And someone said that it might have been because they were loading fireworks.
But then they said something about how they couldn't load the fireworks at that port, so they had to move them to a different port. And in the middle of the night, we stopped at another port to get the fireworks.
Apparently, everyone was asleep. And then they surprised us on the last night and said, fireworks. And everyone was so excited. We had seen fireworks all the time in Pirates of the Caribbean, or not Pirates of the Caribbean, but the Pirate Night out in the Caribbean. But evidently, the Wonder, being in Alaska, has not had fireworks. So it was exciting for the crew there, but there was one issue.
It didn't work.
The fireworks did not go off. But they made up for it by launching them at like
midnight,
the last night before we got off the ship, just to get it off the ship. So
apparently there was an announcement that day at 5:30, but everyone was in port because it was a late night.
Gotcha.
So we were asleep, and Brandon was like, "Do you want to go see them?" I said, "No."
Yeah,
No,
you
I
could hear
don't.
them. They launched them all at once because I guess for safety reasons they can't keep the explosives on the ship, so they were like, just get rid of them. So
Samara, we did buy the photo package, so we have our photos.
how
We
many
took
did
lots.
we have? Like 300.
A lot, yeah.
It was a lot.
We asked the photo pass or shutters person the largest she's seen, and she said like 1,000.
Yeah, we're like, well, we're definitely not close to that.
Yeah.
She said it was a big family though, so like they were able to take multiples and stuff like that. So Jennifer Howard says, loved all the awesome classes you were able to take on the Wonder. So fun to see them themed to the cruise destination. Yeah, very cool. It was very cool. And you know what was interesting? Because after we got off the cruise, we stayed on Oahu in Honolulu for a few nights. And everything they said on the ship, which I thought was a Disney-fied version of kind of like the history, came back up again on the island. Yeah. Which told me that what they're teaching us was in fact like the truth. Like it wasn't a Disney-fied version.
My coworker brought up Pele.
Yeah. It's cool. And like when we went to the islands and learned at like the volcano, the stuff they said at the volcano, reading on the placards matched what they told us in the classes, which I thought was really cool. Definitely worth looking at. You don't always get those classes on the ship.
And I always thought I was hoping there was going to be some like stuff, like Hawaiian stuff on the cruise, but you just don't know because we're so used to like the Eastern Western Caribbean.
Eastern Western Caribbeans, yes.
So like they don't do that stuff. So like I feel real gypped.
Yeah, well, I guess like if you were to do an Alaska cruise, they'd probably have like a naturalist for the Alaska cruises, and maybe if you're doing like a Mediterranean, possibly. But I thought it was really cool that they had somebody on there for National Geographic, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I wish I got to talk to him more.
And he did a talk every sea day at 11:45 in the Buena Vista Theater. And then at the very end, they posted all his videos to your stateroom TV. Yeah. So if you wanted to watch it on demand later, you could. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Does this make you excited to try new ports of call? Yeah. Yeah, we're kind of getting off the Bohemian, Eastern, Western. Yeah. I only want to do a cruise if it's a port I haven't been to yet. Yeah. So like, I mean, besides Castaway, I'll go to Castaway. But this was a weird cruise where we didn't have Castaway. So
that's true, but I think they made up for it with all the other different things that we got to do. But yeah, I would say that this just piqued our appetite to explore different ports we've never done before. Yeah. Is the Western and Eastern Caribbean still on the radar? Yeah, there's still some ports on the Eastern Caribbean that we haven't visited. We haven't gone to Puerto Rico.
We were supposed to.
And then the lockdown happened. We still haven't gone to St. Kitts. I would love to visit St. Kitts. Aruba. That's usually on a Southern Caribbean cruise. So there's some ports of call that I would still like to check out that are available in the Caribbean. And then you've got the Disney Treasure, which I know that's a new ship.
Lighthouse Point.
Yep. Disney Treasure's coming out soon. It's going to be doing the Fantasies 7-night Eastern Western. So even if we did do one of those, which we plan on doing,
at least it's not Bohemian.
Yeah.
No offense. We've done it too many times. We've been there too many times.
Too much Nassau. So that puts you at 9 cruises now. You've done 9. So the next cruise you do, you will then be platinum. You've got one up on me. Yep. So I'm at 8. She's now at 9. Yep. So we will hopefully get on another cruise soon at some point. Probably not going to travel very far to get to it though.
I need a break from the airplane.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, so I would like to at least go out of. I think you realize how lucky we have it.
Oh yeah,
going to Port Canaveral. Just get in a car, drive to Port Canaveral. Instead of having to travel so far to get to this. But
although Delta was great, I will say. Yeah. I'm a Delta girly now.
Yeah, good movies.
Yeah.
What was some of the other movies you saw on the way?
Watched Jumanji. That was so funny.
Jumanji, the new Jumanji movie.
That was hilarious with The Rock.
You watched the Minion movie?
I did watch the Minion movie, and then I watched
Detective Pikachu.
That was so weird.
I traveled with a little kid. I watched The Joker.
You watched Jumanji. You liked it.
I watched Jumanji.
Jumanji,
and then what else did I watch? There was another movie that Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah.
And then I watched Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny on the cruise.
But you could have watched it on the airplane.
But I could have watched it on the airplane. So I could have just gone to bed early that night.
Yeah.
And then what else we did? And then we got off the ship. Don't want to give too much away of the ship. Got off the ship and then went and rented a Tesla, which I had never driven before.
I drove it too.
Yes, we drove a Tesla and stayed 2 nights at Aulani, which we knew maybe a few hours when we got there that we did not spend enough time at Aulani.
No.
Like, we were not going to have enough time to cover much. So it was very...
Our issue was I really wanted to go to Kualoa Ranch.
Oh, you said that right. Kualoa, good job.
To see the Jurassic Park filming locations.
Yep.
And we went, and I cried, and it was great.
And Kualoa Ranch, if you don't know, is on the north side of Oahu, and it's about an hour drive to get there, which is crazy to think that there's an hour drive on an island. But yeah, we went to Kualoa Ranch, and that is the Hollywood of Hawaii.
I literally
They shoot
obsessed.
all sorts of movies there. Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, some scenes from Jurassic Park, Lost, that sort of stuff, Jumanji.
And he played Going into Jurassic Valley, like the theme song, and I was like...
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And we decided to do that. We wanted to do that at our port day in Honolulu, but we just didn't have time.
It was sold out.
Yeah, it was sold out because I think Disney Cruisers came through and booked it. So we decided to use one of our Aulani days to go see that, which ate into our Aulani time. But we did see a bunch of new merchandise at Aulani that we'd never seen before. We had a beautiful room that overlooked the ocean.
I cried a lot.
You cried. And then what else did we do? We just kind of relaxed at Aulani. It was nice. And then
merch took up a long time to film.
It did. But there wasn't any we didn't do any Aulani tours or anything like that, or really go into detail on the menehunes, the hidden creatures throughout the resort. We didn't even really enjoy the pools, which was a shame. But we did watch 2 beautiful sunsets. Yeah. Right by the ocean, and we did have a Dole Whip.
Yeah,
so and
we had shaved ice on a different island.
Yeah, we had shaved ice. What island was that?
The first Hilo.
Was it Hilo?
The Big Island.
The Big Island? Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
It was the Big Island.
Yeah.
Of the islands that we went to, because we went to the Big Island, which is Hawaii. We went to Maui. We went to Oahu and Kauai. What was your favorite island? Now that you've had a chance to think about it.
Probably Oahu.
Oahu?
It was beautiful. Like, it's so different on the different part. That's kind of the same for all the islands, but like they're different in different parts of the island. And when we went the first time, I was like, oh, yeah, whatevs. Yeah. And then when we went to Kualoa and like Aulani, I was like, nope, this is it.
Yeah, that's the winner. So for those who
closely by Maui.
Okay. So for those who aren't familiar with the different islands, each island has a unique personality about it. You don't realize it until you get there, and that's what I thought was so cool about this cruise, is that we got to visit the 4 big islands and all its unique culture and personality it tied with it. We saw so many cab drivers and Uber drivers who all were amazed that we were visiting those islands, because they all said, you're seeing more of Hawaii than I have in my entire life, which was bonkers to me.
Yeah, they never leave their island.
They never leave their island. But
like Moana, they never leave their island.
Well, we had a unique opportunity to visit islands that Hawaiians don't even go to.
Yeah.
Like, it's really cool. And in a nutshell...
What was your favorite?
Oahu was nice. I did like... man, it's hard. I love the volcanoes on the Big Island. That was my... I was nerding out the entire time. I love that stuff. Geology, volcanoes, nature in that sense. Oahu was cool because it literally is like Los Angeles in the middle of the ocean. Everything you could possibly get. There's Gucci stores, but there's like master, beautiful, beautiful resorts. I mean, it is literally everything you can need right there on the island. And then Maui was nice. We stayed, or our port was at, oh gosh, what was the name of it now? I keep saying Kualoa, but that's the ranch. It's Kahalui. Kahalui, which was the north side of the island, and it's where most of the freight comes in to supply the island. I thought Maui had the most beautiful hole in the wall, non-touristy areas, because that is actually a very touristy island. But where we went was really cool, and actually the thumbnail of this live stream is a picture from the lava fields at Maui, because we went to the last known volcanic eruption on the island, which was really cool. Kauai was neat too, because Kauai is old.
It was so different. That was more different than any of the other ones.
And I thought what was really cool was how all the islands had a little, like, for instance, Kauai and the Big Island had the most Hawaiian culture tied into it. Like, Hawaiian culture is still there. Maui, you didn't see a lot of it.
No.
Like, I felt like Western culture came in and wiped it clean, and it's very Westernized. Same with Oahu. Although there's some Hawaiian culture embedded in Oahu, those two islands have probably the least representation of Hawaiian culture. Kauai and the undeveloped ones, Kauai and the Big Island, I felt had the biggest representation. In fact, on the Big Island, there was a statue for Pele, the volcano god or fire god, where it literally said, "Don't climb on this. Pele doesn't like that." It's Hawaiian culture is real there. It's really cool.
We have a lot of comments.
Okay, go ahead. I did do a ship tour, just so you know.
Oh, have you booked on the treasure yet? We have a placeholder that we have to call them to probably do the treasure.
Yeah, we did a placeholder while we were on the Wonder, and we have an idea of what itinerary we want to do. We just haven't done it yet.
Thomas asked, what about a Southern Caribbean? Yeah.
I would love to.
Definitely.
Throw Aruba in there any day.
Yeah. That was one of my mom's favorite places she went, was Aruba.
Really?
So.
Did you guys see, not to get off subject, but did you guys see the tweet? There was a tweet I sent out because we got a survey at the end, and it's always interesting to see the surveys because they kind of tip their hand as to what they're looking at down the road. And one of the, let me see if I could find it.
Give me that.
This?
Yeah. Oh. I got this from Aulani.
So the locations that they said, would you be interested in visiting these spots? One of the spots they mentioned was Cadiz, Spain, Panama, Cologne, Panama, which I thought was interesting, Corfu, Greece, Dawes Glacier in Alaska, which I think they already went to. You could see the glacier, unless they're just curious if they want to keep it. La Coruña, Spain, Naples, Italy, which they've already go to, Vigo, Spain, and Whittier, Alaska. So I looked up Whittier. Whittier's all the way up in near Juneau.
Oh, really?
It's not really close to any of the other ports that they're...
I see the northern lights from there really well.
Could be. And maybe that's what they're going for. Or maybe they're looking for longer itineraries in Alaska and they're interested, would you be interested in going to Whittier, Alaska as a port? So I thought that was interesting that they kind of threw that in there. But yeah, not to get off subject. Those are just cool ports that they're looking at.
BG says, what do y'all think about the new beach stop? I think it's called Lighthouse Point. We're excited for Lighthouse Point. I did some research. There are some cruises that go to Castaway and Lighthouse Point.
There's not a lot of them, though.
No, there's not.
I thought there would be more, but it's kind of a smart move on Disney's behalf to not include the Wish. It's like a smart business decision. Like the Wish you would think would go to it. The Wish does not go to Lighthouse Point. So they're hoping that if you want to experience the Wish and Lighthouse Point, you'd have to book 2 separate cruises.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, you could try it.
Samara asked, when is your next cruise? We're figuring that out.
But there is a placeholder purchase, so there will be another one.
Brandon filmed the ship tour, and then Luke says, my family and I went to Kauai in 2010, and it is amazing. It is. Cool. I want to visit all of them again.
It's an interesting island if you like the geology of Hawaii, because it's the oldest island, and because it's the oldest island, it's falling apart. Erosion's a big deal there, because the volcanic rock that supports life on the islands is eroding away over time due to wind and rain. So it's got the most dramatic rock structures you'll ever find. Beautiful. I tried to capture it in the videos, but the videos can only do so much. So
yeah,
but really cool. But yeah, it was a fun trip all around. The flight back was not fun, but we made it. And
I was good. Like the first leg, I was good to Honolulu to LAX, and then the second one, I slept the first 2 hours, and when I woke up, I got antsy. I was like, I'm ready to be off this plane. I want to be home. Like,
yeah.
So
I think Hawaii is an easier trip for people from the West Coast because then they're only going 3-hour time difference. It's hard for the East Coast to do that. I don't know how people from Japan do it because there's a lot of people from Japan visiting Aulani. I don't know how they go because they're going east, which means they're losing time getting to Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
And they gain it all back once they go to Tokyo. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Bailey asked, would you guys ever do fish extenders? Do you know what that is, right? It's a little fish thing.
But we saw something cooler.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture of actually?
That's not a fish extender.
No, I know fish extenders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw a
I thought about doing it this time around, and then I was like, wedding.
Yeah.
I don't know where that's going to take forever to find.
You want me to find it?
No, I got it.
We saw 2 doors down from us, they had used their old...
Here it is.
Castaway lanyards.
You want to hold it up?
Yeah. They used their old Castaway lanyards, and what they did is let me see if I can get it in focus. There we go. They used their old Castaway lanyards and let me zoom in a little bit, like a synopsis of every cruise they went on.
Yeah, it's neat.
Let me see if like on every ship and the date and like where they went, which I thought was super cool. And I kind of want to do that.
Yeah.
So maybe we can do that for ours.
I'll make
that's
it
really
for the
cool.
next one.
We got so many lanyards from the years that we could certainly do that.
I did get a cute little up-themed...
Oh, magnet for our door?
You want to hold that up?
Yeah.
And I remember there was one day we heard these people walking by.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah, they said, it's your honeymoon.
Yeah.
How adorable. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. The crew was great. We had amazing crew. Yeah, it was a good cruise. The food was okay. Paula was great.
Yeah.
But the food was okay. I don't know if it was because it was a longer cruise, but it wasn't I will say that the Fantasy probably had better food. Yeah. I still think that the Eastern Caribbean that we did a few months, actually it's about a year now, probably was the best cruise best all-around cruise we went on. This had pretty good food. It wasn't amazing. Service was great.
Yeah.
Everyone was friendly. The shows were great. Entertainment, top notch.
Yeah.
And cleanliness was very good on the ship.
I
always look for that. I noticed that the Wish needed some work on some things, and I would like to try the Wish again because it's been over a year now. I would like to go back and check it out and see if they've improved on some of the stuff, because I always said that the dining experiences on the Wish were not as good as the other ships, and that there were some cleanliness issues across the ship, and I'm hoping that those things got ironed out.
Yeah.
Because I would like to go back to the Wish. Cool.
Betsy says, perhaps Whittier, Alaska, to do a one-way cruise with land tours like Princess does. You could fly back from Anchorage.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
So you would end there?
Yeah, and then I guess you would do it one way back.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought that was of all the ports that they mentioned, I know they've always been interested in Spain. Spain could be one of the, they already do the Med, but I could see Spain being a popular destination. I think Panama's been up there a few times because they're trying to entertain, because now you throw the Treasure in there and then you throw, where do you put the Fantasy? Okay. Now you get another ship after that. Where do you put that ship? It's like,
yeah,
they're going to have to start finding exotic ports to put some of these ships in. I think the Wonder, and this is why I'm so happy we did the Wonder, I don't know if the Wonder is going to come back and do Alaska cruises much longer. I think that baton might get tossed on to Magic, and I think the Wonder might end up probably staying in Sydney and New Zealand. If this is a success and it's a popular cruise.
Well, I want to go to Australia so I can go to Australia Zoo.
So I guess we'll be back on the Wonder at some point.
Go see Steve Irwin's babies.
Okay, so we'll throw that on the to-do list eventually down the road. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of excitement around that. A lot of the crew was very excited for the idea of going down to
a lot
Sydney.
were also ending their contracts, too.
Correct. There was a changeover of the cast, too.
Yeah.
You want to explain how that went?
So we had our Castaway Club because it was more than a 7-day cruise. It's, what do they call it? Castaway Club Celebration?
Yeah, it's something like that for like gold members.
So when we walked into the Walt Disney Theater, they were doing a dress rehearsal, and I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And then the curtains closed, but they were still like...
And they didn't let anybody record or take pictures.
And then they opened the curtains, and the cast was all in their outfits and like dancing, and I was like...
that's a quick changeover.
Yeah, but it turns out there was a new cast learning the new show.
Correct.
And the old cast was getting off soon.
Yeah.
And they have a big rehearsal space in Toronto. So like they just got on the ship. We actually sat behind them during the Frozen musical, and you could tell who was playing each part because of how they reacted. Like
when Elsa would come on and do her Let It Go, the person who was cast to play Elsa sat up really close and watched.
Yeah.
And then when Olaf came up, he sat up really close and watched. And there was a lot of this.
Yeah.
A lot of that. I was like,
and then a lot of crying at the end.
Yeah, you could tell that they were excited to be the next crew that was going to be doing it.
It was really cute.
They're probably doing it right now, honestly.
Yeah,
they have
I think it was the one after. Like,
was it?
It's the first one in actual Sydney.
And the instructor who has been with Disney Cruise Line for, what did he say? It was like
forever.
Yeah, for a long time. He was basically there as well, getting them trained up and ready. So in addition to the Imagineers on the ship, you also had the trainer for the shows. Like there was a lot of big payroll people there.
Yeah.
Which was cool. It was cool to see. They were trying new things, and I think that's really
There was
neat.
one Imagineer we noticed, she would just watch.
Yeah.
And like you could tell she absolutely loved what she did, because we were meeting Mickey, and she was just standing there like, and she would laugh and like not even be meeting him. Like, it was so
Didn't meet
cute.
him. She just watched and observed and watched all the kids enjoy meeting Mickey. So it was really neat.
Brandon, did you like the Wonder compared to the others? Is it what you expected?
It felt, I mean, obviously felt a lot like the Magic, but I will say that it was better than the Magic. I felt the Magic, when we went on it, was in need of a dry dock, which it just came out of dry dock. But I felt that the Wonder was better than the Magic. I still wouldn't put it above the Fantasy, though. I think the Fantasy's still my favorite ship. Dream and Fantasy are my favorite ships. It's what I started on. I would say that the Wonder might be above the Wish, too.
You always have a soft spot for your first ship. So the Wonder is my first ship, so I have like a little soft spot.
And this was 11 years since we last went on it. So it was
good to see my old friend. Way back when she did Miami cruise.
That's right, yeah. That's when it was back to only, I think the Dream was the only one there. Was it? Was it the Dream? I can't remember. But yeah, I would say the Dream and Fantasy are my favorite. The Dream was my first one, so I'm like very like.
It's your soft spot.
Yeah. The Dream's doing some pretty cool itineraries though. It's going to Europe now, so.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's in Bermuda.
I'm looking at my vacations for next year.
Oh, are you?
And,
we may have to do. I want to do a Med at some point, and I want to do an Alaska cruise. I still want to do an Alaska cruise. Just couldn't pass up the Hawaii cruise. There's just not enough of them.
No.
So we had to do it. So now and you know what's really cool? There's not a lot of videos on Hawaii cruises.
No.
Because it's not a cruise they do a lot.
No.
And in fact, when we were getting our car rental, do you remember the lady at the car rental? She goes, what cruise line are you on? And we said, Disney. And she got excited. She goes, oh, Disney's back to the island? And we're like, just temporarily. And they're about to leave. But she was very excited to see that they were coming back to Hawaii because I guess, was this the first time since the lock? No.
I don't know.
I think they came here last year.
I was looking. I have it on Google Docs. Next year, they're doing a Hawaii one. Yeah. And they go overnight in Kauai.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting? Oh, I might not have put that on there, actually.
They might have, that was something that they did last year. I think.
Yeah.
That was an older itinerary that they did.
Yeah, I actually don't think
you've been doing your homework.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I don't think I didn't write it down, actually.
How many did you write down?
All the ports we've never done before.
You put Halloween on the high seas on there?
Heck yeah.
Dang. She's already... Look, you think I'm the big planner. She's been writing it. She has a Google... Wait, pull that up. She's got a Google Doc with all the cruises. Look at this. Are you crazy?
It's just ports we haven't done.
Oh my goodness.
Don't judge me.
Wow. I do want to go out to Fort Lauderdale since that's something new.
Would you guys ever do an Adventures by Disney? If so, where? I really want to do an Adventures by Disney. I wouldn't know where. I don't know where I would, because
there's some good ones out there, though.
Yeah.
We would do a safari one.
Yeah.
That's what you would do. You do a safari.
Bailey's got to go eat supper. See, I feel like it is supper time.
Well, I'm glad that you guys were able to stop in and say hi. And do you think you'll ever try a different cruise line? Possibly. I mean, I've always been... We came close with Royal Caribbean a few times out of Port Canaveral. Like for your birthday.
Yeah.
We thought about it. Like we were like, oh, maybe we can squeeze in. Because sometimes Disney's hard to get last second.
Yeah.
So we were like, maybe we can get a Royal Caribbean, but it just never really worked out. But I'm always open to that. I've done Carnival. I'm not too fond of Carnival, to be quite honest. It's a very affordable cruise line, which is fine. But I don't know. I don't know. If I'm going to try it, I want to try some of the better cruise lines out there.
I don't want to go, to Carnival.
No, yeah. Although the Mardi Gras does look nice. The newest ship from them. But Royal Caribbean's got some really awesome ships. When we were at Vancouver and we saw the Royal Caribbean ship there, it was
a cow on there.
Yeah, it was a cow. There's a giant cow sculpture on there. That's all we could see on the ship.
The red cow.
The red cow. Yeah,
Whatever
it was it looked really cool. And there was a lot of people at the port that day that were going on the Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, we went from the airport to the train to the Pan Pacific, and someone was like, oh my god, we saw you at the airport. Yeah. We're like, yeah, and they're like, are you going on Royal? And we're like, no, Disney. And they're like, Disney.
They're like, wait a minute. So, yeah, let's see. I've been on 15 different cruise lines. Holy cow. So, Terry, what's your favorite of the 15 cruise lines? Because now I'm curious. You piqued my interest. I'm interested in which one, if you could wave a magic wand and put us on a cruise ship with no cost to anyone.
I'd love that.
What would you put us on? Like, what would you think would be the best cruise line we could possibly go on to like, if you were to just wave your magic wand and make it happen? I'm curious what your favorite one that you would recommend to someone would be, because 15 makes you a competent judge, in my opinion, of cruise lines. You know, I've only been on Carnival and Disney.
Same.
I would like to try Royal just because there's so many of them and it's easily accessible.
I want that big one.
Yeah, the big one, though,
yeah.
Like Oasis class.
Yeah.
I kind of want to try that one too. But yeah, I mean, it's.
And then you go to, what's their private island?
Coco Cay.
Coco Cay.
Coco Cay. And they pronounce it K, not Key. Weird. Whereas Castaway calls it Castaway Key, even though it's spelled the same. So, don't know who did that.
I don't know.
Don't know who chose that. But, yeah, I'm curious, Terry, which one would you recommend for us? I'm just out of curiosity. Is it going to be one of those smaller cruise lines?
The river cruise.
My dad did Viking. He did a Viking cruise. He liked it. He said he really liked it. He said he felt like he was the youngest person there.
I felt like we were pretty young on this cruise too.
Yes, so that was an interesting, that was kind of, we didn't even cover that in any of the videos, but that was something that we noticed is that and maybe it was because it was not during school season, or it was during school season.
And it's like,
and you're not going to take your kid, so being that it's a repositioning cruise, at some point, even if you lived at one of the ports, you still have to travel somewhere because it's not round trip. So maybe having to travel with kids is just not easy. But
there were some people from Maui on our cruise.
Yep.
And they got off and just went back to home.
Yeah, they went back home. But I did not see a lot of children on this cruise. Mm-mm. It was, if I had to say the average age, it would probably have been 65 or older. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them went to first dinner first dining. So we always do second dining. So yeah, it was kind of one of those weird things where it was a Disney cruise, but it didn't have a lot of Disney like families on it. It was weird. What did he say?
Norwegian Cruise Line,
Okay.
Disney, Royal, Princess, and Carnival.
Gotcha.
In that order.
In that order. So Norwegian Cruise Line. I've heard good things about that. I had a coworker who was very big on Norwegian Cruise Line. I don't know which one comes out of Port Canaveral, though. I haven't looked at that. Longest cruise I've done is a 14-day on the Norwegian Cruise Line Dawn. Okay, interesting. Did that go to some really cool destinations? I would imagine on a 14-day cruise, you're probably going to some cool spots. But yeah, Norwegian is a very popular one, too. That's one that I always forget about. But Royal Caribbean's been around for so long, and I've always thought of Royal Caribbean, but I'll have to keep them on our list, because if the price is good, maybe we'll try something different. But we start to look at things, and we're like, man, Disney's going there. That's kind of cool. And it's tough to beat the Disney. In fact, we had a guy on our balcony next to us who had been on other cruise lines. And he said he went on Royal first, then got off Royal, and then went to a Disney cruise that same day. And he said his life changed after Disney. And now all he does is Disney Cruise Line. So, but I think it's important that you expand your boundaries and check some stuff out. It says the platinum person over, or the future platinum person.
I can't ruin my platinum.
No, I could have platinum instead. Apollo. Anyway.
Apollo.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. We wanted to go over some of the, a synopsis of our honeymoon. Bear with us, guys. We are working on our cruise vlogs. We will get them up soon.
Taking a while, and our body clock's taking a while.
Yes, Betsy, we did vlog the last cruise. We did. And
a lot of days of it, so get ready.
Yes, get ready. There's a lot of days of cruising going. You know what I could post? I could post our Deck 4 thing.
Oh, yeah.
I made a video just out of grins because I was sitting on, he said it was a repositioning cruise from New York to Miami. It went as far down as Aruba. Wow. Okay, so it was like...
is Aruba kind of the same down as Hawaii? Like where?
Closer to the equator?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's closer to the equator. Yeah, just about. So we did a video one of the days we were sitting on deck 4. And I said, how relaxing is this? And I go, if only I could have this sound, just the sounds of deck 4 on a constant loop. And I said, well, now's the time to do it. So I set up the recording and I just recorded the ocean going by for like 30 minutes. And you could hear the people playing shuffleboard and the clanking, the clank, clank. If you've been on deck 4, you understand what I'm talking about. And I just did a 30-minute video of that, and maybe I'll just make that as like an ASMR video.
For you to fall asleep.
Yeah, something to fall asleep to. So if you like deck 4, maybe that's an easy video to do too.
Yeah,
like, that's an easy
one.
I could throw that out. So that way some people have deck 4 in their arsenal. So anyway, but yeah, we just wanted to meet up with you guys. Glad all of you were able to come out. Like I said, bear with us. We're working on the vlogs. We'll get them out. It's a lot of videos. I mean, you figure it's 10 11 if you include Vancouver.
And then 2 days at Aulani.
2 days at Aulani.
Well, debarkation and...
Yep. And then a cruise ship tour.
A cruise ship tour.
And a deck 4 ASMR video. So...
What did we do?
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. So bear with us. We'll try and get it out as soon as possible. And then hopefully you guys will be able to enjoy the honeymoon with us. I'm glad we did it. I thought about it. Should we do it? Or should we enjoy it to ourselves? And then we had moments where we had to ourselves where, we didn't need to have the camera and we could just relax and enjoy the honeymoon for what it was, which was important. I wanted to have that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there was a lot of people that are like, I'll never get to go on a Hawaii cruise.
Yeah.
So it was like, I kind of wanted to share that with people too.
It's a lot of time off and, not the cheapest cruise ever.
Yeah.
So.
Thomas says he's been on all 5 that are currently sailing, and Terry has been on 3. Disney all on the Wonder. Oh wow, okay. So you love the Wonder. You must love the Wonder.
Or it's just convenient.
It probably is. West Coast. I presume that's probably one of the reasons why, or maybe it was when it was in Florida when you went on it. But
maybe.
Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this live stream, I know it was an impromptu live stream, be sure to give it a big thumbs up down in the like section. It does help the channel get recognized. Liking and commenting and doing things like that definitely helps get the channel noticed. We broke 8,000 subscribers when we were in Canada. Amazing, guys.
Wow.
That the fact that we're even remotely close to 10,000 is beyond me.
Yeah.
But it just is a testament to the community that we have here. Community, you guys, all of you that watch us and hang out with us. It's been great. And honestly, we recorded our honeymoon, which is a huge milestone in some people's lives because a part of us wanted to share that with you guys. And I think that is very moving and very powerful to what YouTube allows us to do, to connect with everybody. So I'm hopefully you guys love it, and hopefully it's entertaining to watch because it was definitely obviously fun for us, but I want to be able to share that with you guys. I think that would be really cool. So,
but on that note,
yes,
we got to get to editing.
Yes. So on that note, we do need to get going. But yeah, if you enjoy the video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't yet and you want to join the trek for future vlog adventures, tell them what to do.
Make sure to tap that subscribe button and tap that notification bell to become a super honeymoon trek subscriber.
The honeymoon trek.
Yeah. Hashtag.
And until next time, see you real soon.
I can't reach.
Don't worry. I'll go over and turn it off.
Goodbye. Goodbye.